Hey guys, WantClue here. I hope all of you are doing well and having a really great day. In today's video, we want to dive into a new update for your NerdAxe. So stick with me and let's get started. As you can see, we are back again as usual on GitHub, and what we want to take a look on today is the new update for your NerdAxe, your NerdQX, your NerdQX Plus, and your Plus Plus, and all the other NerdAxe variants that are out there. What this is a minor new update which does implement a couple of nice new features, and we want to quickly go over them, and then we also want to make sure that you do understand of how to update and what kind of changes are in there. So we'll try our best to make sure that we do focus on all the updates that we do have. One important note that it does state up here is this release needs updating the www bin file to. The AFC has been removed. The classic AFC has been removed, and if this was enabled previously, it will switch to the 100% manual mode. There was previously the option to select between the automatic fan control, the old one, and the new PID control. And if I'm not mistaken, the automatic fan control, the classic one, has been now removed and switched over to the PID controller. And this is what it also does state on the very first commit, that we do see it disables the old classic AFC and defaults to manual with 100% if you still use them. So one important thing for you to know here is that you do update both files, the www.bin file and the esp-minor- whatever variant of NerdAxe you do have .bin file. The next one is it adds a 1-minute hash rate to the info API endpoint, which is a nice feature. I wasn't expecting that. As well as it adds a Discord alert that posts a message to a Discord channel when the device was rebooted by Watchdog, which is triggered by no accepted nor rejected share for 1 hour. This is a nice feature. We'll take a look into that and how this works. Maybe I need a dedicated video on how to set this up. If you guys want to know how to do that and how to set up your own Discord server or Discord bot so that you get these messages, make sure to leave me a comment down below. And if you want to know how to set up a NerdAxe in general, check out the info card in the top right corner. I do have a couple of videos about how to set up and how to get started with your NerdAxe. It also now adds the Show Wi-Fi RSSI by 0xFriend in there, and I also took a quick peek look into it, and I can see there is a nice icon for displaying you how good your quality of connecting to your nearest Wi-Fi router actually is. The options for restart API call has been introduced. Restarting didn't work via the Swarm feature because of course, which is a big issue, or was a big issue. This has been fixed in here. That's really nice to see. There are a couple of improvements of display and smaller screens by MRV777, as well as there's a TCP keep alive for the Stratum connection, which is a nice add-on here. So it does perform way better now. It is more stable, and if there's anything going wrong with it, it tries to do its best of actually making sure to reboot or check on the connection or what else. There's also now a use PDMS to tick instead of port tick period MS. This is a nice one, so it's switching over to something that is very more reliable when it comes to the code base. So this is basically something in the back end that you guys will not actually notice, as well as there are a couple of small improvements when it comes to the socket logging. So whenever you do click on your live logs in the web UI, there are a couple of improvements for that, and I do expect them to just perform way better. There are also a couple other improvements when it comes to the UI logs by removing the metadata, which does save up to 50% of space added by DuckX. So this is amazing. You do see DuckX is not only doing great things when it comes to the Bitaxe front end, but he's also expanding over to the ESP miner for all the NerdAxe variants, which is awesome. There's also now some human readable tooltip on the charts added by DuckX, which is really nice. And this one also updated to the ESP IDF 5.5 update, which is a nice thing, and we actually also need to consider this for the Bitaxe. So now let's hop over to my NerdAxe Gamma, which I do have. And by the way, if you want to get one of these nice ones, make sure to check out the links in the video description down below. I do have multiple links with coupon codes where you can get them. This one is from nerdminer.de, and I do have a coupon code with my name WantClue, so if you want to use that, feel free to do so. So in here, the dashboard, the usual dashboard, just looks as usual. And if you now go over to Swarm, we should be able to see all the other devices. Obviously, a couple of these devices are no longer online because solar ran out and it's a little bit later here, so there's no more sunlight. So these devices do not really work. We also do have a couple other devices in here that are active, which is really nice to see. So this does look awesome. I do expect that the restart button now is actually working, which is nice. There are a couple of discrepancies when it comes to the Swarm functionality between the Bitaxe and your NerdAxe. So if you do see some issues between using the Swarm feature on your NerdAxe or on your Bitaxe, make sure to check out GitHub and create an issue or join our Discord server so that we do know that there are a couple of issues and we can fix them. All right, this is awesome. Everything here looks just as usual and as good. Let's go over to settings. In here, we do see we have the Wi-Fi settings, we have the Stratum pool, we have the mining settings, and what else? I think if I enable the danger zone now, this is something I haven't showed you in one of the latest, in the last video on the version 1.0.30. Now we are on the version 31, but actually on the version 30 you could enable the difficulty so you can change it. Usually you don't actually need to do that because the pool will set the difficulty for you depending on how often you send in shares and how good they are. So this is not really a needed thing, but it is a nice touch that you can also manipulate this and change the difficulty for the chip itself, which is a nice thing to have. There are also just a little bit better overview when it comes to the UI in terms of where everything is. If we take a look on the fan control, we can see now it only has the manual and the auto fan PID. There is also the possibility for setting these parameters. So if you want to know more about them and how to play around with them, leave me a comment down below so I make sure to make a dedicated video about that and how to play around with that. I'll just keep it as manual because it's not loud anyway. It does have a Noctua and a huge fan on it, a huge heatsink, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's really looking promising. Update and the check for latest release. Everything here is as usual. InfluxDB should also be the same. And if you go over to alerts, this now is the new thing. What you need to do here is you can set up your own Discord server and you can enable Discord alerts. You need a webhook URL if you want to know how to do all that. Again, leave me a comment down below so that I know you guys are interested in that. It is a straightforward process, but for everybody who's new into that and has never played around with that, it might be a little bit tricky, but basically Googling would bring you into that. Yeah, it's a nice feature. There are a couple of people who also created bots for Telegram so that you get notified on Telegram if anything is going on there. But in general, having more options and having them baked into the system is nice and is awesome to see. And system itself, here's a nice new touch. We do have this little icon for the Wi-Fi strength, how good the dBm to your actual router is. So that's really an awesome thing here to see. All right, with that, I do think this video was a little bit shorter than the other ones, but these updates are primarily on the back end, a couple of updates when it comes to the front end, which is always awesome to see. If you click on show logs, everything should be as usual here. Everything is just clean. That's looking so awesome. So yeah, that's it for today's video. Thank everybody for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you do enjoy these videos, leave me a comment down below. I highly suggest to do so. And don't forget to keep hashing. Till then, see you next time.